What's up, guys? It has been a crazy week for the Five Stripes. We crashed the MLS SuperDraft by ending Barco Watch. Praise be. Vajalba got himself a green card. Good job, lawyers. And Darren Eels wins Executive of the Year. That's not really a shocker if we're being honest. All that and more coming up.
Welcome to the show, Five Stripe fam. I'm AJ. This is Tanner McLeod. Before we get into it, become a part of the notification squad by hitting the bell next to the subscribe button. So guys, first up on the docket, the 2018 MLS SuperDraft happened, and in great Five Stripe fashion, we disrupted the whole thing by announcing Barco in the middle of the thing. Really, really funny. And, I think, it shows we kind of have a little bit of a showmanship in us. Like, we kind of made the draft interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's the MLS SuperDraft. It's not exactly the most entertaining sports television to watch. Or not really a draft you tune into ESPN to see all the breakdowns on every single player.
Right.
And, we're just like, oh, draft, great. We'll instead just announce that we broke the MLS record and signed a very exciting 18-year-old prospect by the name of Ezequiel Barco. He's now a five-stripe. Praise, it is done. He is ready to play. I'm so excited, and honestly, like, the draft after that was just a wash. I was just like, great, we'll get players. I'll probably play for Atlanta United too.
Right.
We got Barco. That's all that I got out of it. I was so excited. The video they released with it as well was brilliant. He's going to wear number 8.
Yep.
I didn't see that coming.
Which is, very interesting because, that was Kevin Kratz's old number, which is like, what number is he going to have now?
It's actually a really good question.
In which, in that case, it changed a couple times over the past, I think 3 days, really. He was going to wear number 11, which, of course, is Yamil Assad's old number. That also changed again. Now he's going to wear number 32 for the time being. So we'll see, but
doesn't matter. Barco has a shirt number. Barco's playing for Atlanta United. That's what matters to me.
Yes, absolutely. And by the way, we drafted some players.
Yeah, that happened too.
Yeah. And so first up, we drafted a player by the name of John Gallagher, a forward from Notre Dame, in the first round, 14th pick. And then also Oliver Shannon, a midfielder from Clemson, the 36th pick of round 2. And Gordon Wild, a forward from Maryland, in round 2, the very next pick, the 37th pick. All these players are international players where they would count against our international slots, which, by my count, we have about 12 or 13 that count against it, which is kind of hefty. We have to do something about that.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing right now is that, Vajalba is definitely taken away. Our crack team of lawyers, they've sorted that problem out.
Yeah,
so he's on a green card.
Lawyers. Exactly.
So I think that you'll probably see something similar with Gressel along the line. It
so.
Wouldn't shock me. I mean, especially with him getting engaged recently. Congratulations, by the way. I think you'll definitely see him getting on, losing that international slot. The problem is with some of these players, which is interesting, is that they're attacking players. 2 of them are.
Yeah.
And I think we are pretty set on attacking players in the first team.
Right.
So what United would have to do in order for them not to count against the international slots, they'd have to loan them to Atlanta United too.
Exactly.
If they did that, that means they couldn't come up and play any games for the first team this season, which honestly really wouldn't be the worst thing in the world because I think there's depth there, and I think that there's players that are going to shuttle back and forth anyway, and I think giving them a full season where they know they're going to play and getting those minutes in the USL team at Atlanta United too, I think it can be beneficial for their development.
Right.
And then depending on how they play, then you can see them coming up next season, and by then we may have got more people off international slots, and you also could see players departing. So I think that with how the front office has done things, some people thought it was a pretty wonky strategy or questioned if they had any strategy whatsoever. But honestly,
I think they picked the best player available.
Yeah.
I think is what they did. And, when you stock up on talent versus a positional need, then you can trade away from a sense of, where you have a lot of players like in that position. You trade from strength versus, not having any available players.
Yeah,
So,
I agree with that strategy. I mean, especially in something like the MLS SuperDraft, which honestly is a bit of a crapshoot anyway sometimes. I mean,
sure.
most of the great players you're seeing, I mean, mind you, there have been great players to come to the MLS SuperDraft, but you're still seeing now a lot of these players are coming in from other sources, so they're being signed, or in United's case, being know academy players like Carlton and Goslin. So, you know, I think that, you know, going with the best available strategy is definitely was a good idea, but I trust our front office completely when they have a strategy and they pick these players because they know what they want to do with them. And, you know, you don't win Executive of the Year for making random off-the-cuff picks.
Yeah, and also keep in mind, USL, they can loan Atlanta United players for a 4-day type of like window for cup games and stuff like that. That allows us to, you know, to have more players in the case that we have cup games and other things that, you know, we need these players for. So, you know, that really, you know, it just bolsters our depth. And in terms of our depth, like if we were talking about these guys as forwards, you know, our depth is pretty good already. Just thinking about our striker depth, you know, Josef, we got Romario Williams, we got Brandon Vasquez, we got Jacob Peterson, and not to even mention Tito Villalba, who's, you know, probably the number 2. He's the understudy.
I mean, if I was to have to play someone and Josef couldn't play, I mean, what they did last season was slide Villalba up top, and he's a fantastic player, and his movement's excellent. He's got great pace, and we know what his right leg is, which is an absolute cannon. So, I mean, I think that there's so much to love about United, and I think that you see the strategy of they're an attacking team. That's why they drafted attacking players, because that's what this team is built on, is scoring a lot more goals than the other team. Mind you, they have a good defense as well, but you know, United aren't trying to win games 1-0. They're not trying to park the bus, play on the counter. They're going, no, we're going to score lots of goals. If you want to do that, you have to stock up on attacking talent, and that's what they're doing.
Yeah, and in that sense, the games might end like 3-2, that type of thing, because we might allow some goals that might really tick some fans off, because it's like, or it might be one of those we lose like 1-2 away because the opposing team has bunkered down completely, and we might have had 20 shots on goal, and one of them went in, but
it happens to the best teams in the world. Swansea beat Liverpool, and Liverpool have a fantastic attack. So the best teams, it can happen in any day. That's the great thing about watching soccer.
Absolutely, it's very true. And
Atlanta United fans, preseason training has finally started. That means that first match in Nashville is only a few weeks away, and the season, a little bit over, month and a half at this point. I know I am ready to be in MBS. I'm ready to quit talking about transfers and off-season speculation and actually be watching the Five Stripes play an actual game, putting loads of goals past opponents.
Absolutely. And we're seeing all the players in their training tops as well now, and it's exciting seeing Nagbe and Franco Escobar and Jose Hernandez, the new guys getting in there, and also the older players as well, the veteran players. But those training tops, those red ones.
I'm a fan. I'm ready for them to go on sale in the store. I'm gonna buy some. I mean, one, not some. I don't know. Maybe I'll just buy
short sleeve, long sleeve.
I'll just wear them every day to work.
Yeah, exactly. But and also they're gonna move down to Orlando for partial for 10 days. The weather is frightful here sometimes, and then
today it's nice. 70. It's wonderful. Yesterday wonderful. Sunday wonderful, and then it probably be like 17 degrees again in a few days for no particular reason whatsoever.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it's I think it's going to be 30-something degrees in a day or two. So
sounds fantastic. I mean, I walked out of the airport the other day, and it said feels like 1 degree. And I'm just like, I'm not about that life.
Right.
It's Atlanta. How is Atlanta? Atlanta was the coldest place in the United States last Wednesday.
Was it?
Yeah,
That's
it was.
crazy.
And that blows my mind. It's just like, why?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like
so it makes sense. It makes sense that the team is going to go to Orlando to train for about 10 days. This fluctuation in weather, it's just too much.
Yeah, I can't blame them there. But I mean, again, I'm glad because I'm ready just to quit just talking about stuff and actually watch them on the field, because we've been talking about everything all offseason, how these players fit in, who will replace who, and how they look when they actually line up, and Guys, it is only a few weeks away till we finally can see them on the pitch.
And that's also why they're going to, because yeah, those new guys on the team, it allows them to, you know, like last year, they build that camaraderie while being on the road. It really helps, you know, the new guys get acclimated with the older guys, and you know, build that team chemistry, which is going to be super important when we get on the road, play a tough match against a tough team. So, you know, this is a big positive that they're going over there. It's just maybe a little bit of a bummer they're not going to be in town. So
yeah, I mean, but I mean, it's not like they have open training all the time anyway. I think, honestly, one of the best things from, you know, the videos that Atlanta United have been coming out is it kind of quashed those rumors about a player that apparently was leaving. He's not leaving.
Yeah. Carlos Carmona is definitely going to stay for the season, says Carlos Bocanegra. And that's amazing news for us because, yeah, he's so integral to the team. We absolutely need him as our sixth. And, you know, if we didn't have him, this is going to be a very, very tough replacement.
I mean, he provides so much to that midfield, and to lose a player of his quality at this point in the season where it'd be hard to find a replacement. Yeah. I mean, I was really worried, not really worried, but like there were, you know, some articles out there that were saying, rumors. Oh, he's for sure signing, and then it's like he's popping up in the video, and then Carlos Bocanegra's just like, he ain't going anywhere, which is good. I mean, Colo Colo, you can have him later, but right now, he's a 5-stripe. He's staying.
And a little bit more in Barco news, Sam Stechgall of MLSsoccer.com wrote a big piece about us and our ambition and how it moves the league forward as a whole. And he wrote, but this is more about Atlanta's 2018 roster or longer-term hunt for trophies. This is about more than the 5 stripes pushing the rest of the league forward. This is about more than investing, developing, winning, selling, and profiting. This is about the long-term vision of MLS being enacted in real time by the league's most ambitious club. I think that just speaks volumes. Like, we are really like making such an impact on this league that, you know, the whole league is on watch.
And I think, you know, this puts the league on Barco watch because they're all going to be looking out for the next Barco. You know, and also they're going to have to watch him score goals past them. But, you know, I think a lot of the national media have really taken to it and said that, you know, it shows Atlanta United's, it's a statement of intent, showing how they want to be taken seriously. They want to win trophies. They want to be the team that drives the league forward. And I think they will, because I think you're going to see more teams trying to follow this model, because Barco's a player who's incredibly talented, as we all know. We've all seen his highlights. We've all heard about his potential. But he's a player that, especially in today's market, you know, 2-3 years down the road, he could be a player that could be going to Europe for a very large amount of money. And, you know, unfortunately, you know, there was the quotes from Miguel Almiron this past week as well, talking about how, you know, MLS can be a stepping stone for those players. And I get that hurts some of us, you know, coming from our favorite player, but he has a point. I mean, we have to realize our place in the pecking order. And right now, if MLS becomes a stepping stone for players like that, that's good really for MLS, because that means we're getting bright young talent coming here, and we can watch the stars of the future playing here. And then we always can hold on to those memories going, that guy that scored that winning goal in the Champions League final, we got to watch him when he was 18 or 19 or 20. Exactly. And, you know, I think it's fantastic because it changes the culture of the league. And I think the league's slowly been moving away from the retirement league of older players like Lampard, Gerrard, Pirlo, those guys coming over and, you know, getting paid for their swan song, basically. And now you're seeing the exact opposite. Clubs paying big money for young talent that's bright, they can profit off of, and that can be phenomenal players and win them trophies. And I think that's, you know, an amazing thing, because I want the league to you know, grow. And I think slowly, the more you do that, the more money is going to be coming into the league. The more money that's coming into the league, the longer those players will stay here, because they can get paid here. And then if they stay here, then the level of the competition rises, and it becomes a more, you know, interesting league for, you know, players to come to. So I think it's a good thing all the way around. Some people are upset about it, but honestly, at this point,
absolutely. But those people that are upset about it
can deal with it.
Yeah, but they, you know, they in a way want to see us fail, or they're also very curious to see if it actually works. Because if this works, more people are going to do it. If it doesn't work, it might be where it regresses. So, you know, this thing must work. Like, it has to work. And I think beyond that, I mean, even if it isn't the end being where we win a championship. I think it's if Barco, becomes something very, very special and, is bought by a, bigger club from Europe.
Yeah.
Like that's really where this progression of the league goes to.
And as we come to the end of the show today, a few little odds and ends. Darren Eales won Executive of the Year. I'm pretty sure we all understand why. That dude makes deals happen. What a champ. Love that guy. Please never go anywhere else. We need you. Apparently, he actually is rumored maybe one more signing. I have no idea what that would be. But, I mean, who knows at this point? He could pull some ace out of his sleeve, and I would probably agree with whatever he does. Let's see. Also, Assad, unfortunately, has been rumored to be linked to some other MLS clubs. Minnesota United, I think I saw, but I really don't want to play against him. I'd be really heartbroken if he lines up for another side in the MLS.
Dude.
Yeah.
I would be very heartbroken to see him in another shirt in MLS. Yeah, that's just a sight I do not want to see. But, for a Minnesota team, he would be their star player. Like,
genuinely be their best player.
Exactly.
Which is crazy.
They haven't signed a DP.
Yeah,
that's insane.
They're not very good. I'm so salty about that 3-2 win they had. They totally didn't deserve that.
They didn't, but it was, it was all about the height and us losing our keeper and then having to put our fourth string keeper in at that point. Yeah, so that's
good.
Yeah.
That's
but Darren Eales winning Executive of the Year, yeah, absolutely well deserved because, the deal with Barco, like, that was, part of his deal making. That's insane stuff that,
I mean, this is the guy, he negotiated
the ambition.
He negotiated the sale of Gareth Bale to Real Madrid, which broke the world record at the time. And he said that this deal was more complex and harder to negotiate than the world record at the time. Yeah. So it's like, that tells you how difficult getting Barco to Atlanta was. And I mean, there was a great article in the AJC about basically breaking down how everything happened and how things constantly kept changing and how United thought the deal was dead multiple times and also how much Barco wanted to come here, how much of a role he had in saying, no, I want to go to Atlanta. And I think, without, Mr. Eales, a lot of that would never have happened.
And then on top of that, the whole time we heard that, Barco wanted to talk to Tata and he hadn't heard from Tata yet and all that type of stuff. And that's what's funny is, like, from that article, they said, Tata didn't even take part in the negotiations at all. It was just by name alone. Tata is bringing people in.
Tata. It's mad.
That's amazing.
As we wrap things up, touching on Barco, our question of the day this week actually is, with preseason finally starting, which player of the mini are you excited to see line up for the Five Stripes this year? For me, I'm torn. I'm excited about Nagbe. I'm excited about Barco. I'm excited to see how, Martinez's goals go up, hopefully by playing a whole season. Indeed. What Miggy does. I mean, I can't think of one. But get down in the comments. Let us know who you are the most excited to see line up for the Five Stripes this season.
So that's it for us today. Remember to smash a like and subscribe for more, as we're putting out videos on a consistent basis as the season starts. So for Tanner McLeod, I'm AJ. Thank you guys so much for watching.